Hey y'all, welcome back to the Slightly Influenced Podcast, episode 2, coming fresh off the Super Bowl last night. Feeling a little hungover, but we're still in here. Got my boy Austin next to us.
Hey, what
I
do,
want to cheers
brother?
you real quick, brother.
We can get a good cheers.
We had a hell of a game last night.
Hell of a
man.
game. You know what? We could celebrate.
I'm with it.
We can really get after it.
I'm down with that.
See, I know you had a pretty controversial opinion about this year's Super Bowl here, Paul P. You got a lot of hate online.
It's only controversial if you're wrong. And
I'll whiz this by your head. You ready? Woo! Super
Chiefs.
Bowl.
Go Chiefs, baby. All about the Chiefs.
What about the Chiefs?
All about the Chiefs.
Okay. Go ahead. Break it down, brother.
There was some stuff said last episode of the podcast. Gained a bit of a reaction online in the comments section. The Eagles fans were a bit upset.
Mm-hmm.
I claim the Eagles to be phonies.
Fraudulent, I believe.
Fraudulent. Synonymous words. Either way, they fucking lost last night, just like I said they would. Not surprising. They're exactly who I said they were. They're phonies.
I mean, your score prediction was 28-10.
It was. I was wrong on that. I'll admit that.
So it was a lot closer than you were giving them credit for.
No, you're right. Yeah.
And go ahead.
Go ahead. I kept hearing all this talk in the Instagram comments about this rock solid Eagles defense. Where were they at all night? One tackle for loss, one pass deflection, no sacks, no turnovers, the entire game.
Let them down.
There's no defense at all.
You know who they let down?
Who?
I said it last week. I'll say it this week. Jalen Hurts played well enough to win that Super Bowl. I think if you're playing almost any other team besides Mahomes Magic, I think you're winning that Super Bowl. 4 total touchdowns. I'll give you credit. That fumble was not a good look.
Yeah, it was bad.
Okay. And that's probably the reason they lost the game.
Probably.
At the end of the day. But I think he made up for it tenfold. He was making throws that most quarterbacks can't. I would care to say that Jalen Hurts got himself paid this week.
He looked good. He looked really good. He is a QB sneak merchant. I will say that.
Ooh.
Big time. 3 of those touchdowns were QB sneaks in the end zone. Or one of them was a draw, I guess.
I'll call that a rugby run.
Sure, whatever. Speaking of the Eagles offense, they're kind of annoying to play against, I bet. They're like that one friend on Madden who has chew clock on the entire game and goes for it on every 4th down.
Yeah.
I bet they're pretty annoying to play against.
Their coach is pretty annoying.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever seen him on the sidelines.
Very, yeah, I can tell.
Here's a quick fun fact about the Kansas City Chiefs. You know, a lot of people are talking about Patrick Mahomes this afternoon, about how good he is. And I do think that the way they won this Super Bowl, he's got a pretty good GOAT stat. I'm not saying he's the GOAT, but I'm saying he could build upon this to get there.
I'm ready to say he's the most talented ever.
But the Chiefs are the first team since 1985 to have 2 rookies score in the Super Bowl.
Really?
Yeah. So what that tells me is everybody thought this was going to be an off year for the Chiefs. But they hit in the draft, it looks like, because Isaiah Pacheco and Sky Moore both scored a touchdown, and they're both rookies.
Kadarius Toney got a 2-point conversion. He scored a touchdown.
He's not a rookie.
He's like a second-year guy, though. He's a younger guy, too. But, yeah, they reloaded, for sure. Lost Tyreek, ended up with more guys, more athletes, for sure.
I think a lot before the game, there was a lot of talk of a Eagles dynasty after the Super Bowl, if they won, which they did not. And I think they'd have a harder chance to make it to the next Super Bowl than the Chiefs would.
Yeah.
I can see the Chiefs being right back there next year.
Yeah, they're hard to beat. They're not losing anybody, really, you know? Like, everybody's under contract still. Who are they going to lose?
That's true.
I don't know.
So I guess the real story is Paul, how much money did you win this weekend?
I put $100 on the Chiefs money line. Never a doubt in that. I lost some money on the coin flip. I did lose some money on the coin flip. Like they said, tails never fails, and I'm an idiot. I bet on head. I do like head, so I can't blame you for that.
Never bet on head. Never bet on heads. Tails never fails.
The biggest upset of the night came from the Gatorade dump post game.
Yeah, you had what, second mortgage out on that?
I had a little bit of money on blue Gatorade. I want to know who the fuck drinks purple Gatorade? When's the last time you had a purple Gatorade in your life?
That is my least favorite Gatorade flavor. I
haven't had one in years. It's been a long ass time.
If you're the water boy, what Gatorade flavor are you picking, huh?
I like yellow. Yellow's pretty good. Lemon lime.
You are like a scientist from the 1950s, man. Who is picking the
It's
OG
good,
yellow
bro.
Gatorade?
What's the best
I
one
gotta
for
look
you?
off camera here. Justin, this guy's insane, right?
What's your favorite Gatorade, Justin? Help me out here. What do you like?
It's either red fruit punch or
That's the worst one.
or glacier frost.
That
Or
one's
Glacier
good. That one's good.
Frost.
That one's good. The light blue one.
We're
That one's
drinking
good.
lemon lime over here.
Man, I love it.
Might as well be a Florida's football player from the
Whatever.
40s, man. Were you
Whatever.
drinking it out of a glass cup?
That sounds good, actually. I bet it enhances the flavor. I do want to go back to that whole QB sneak situation we were talking about.
Oh, sure.
I wouldn't be surprised if the NFL makes some changes rule-wise to that in the future. That looked pretty cheesy and unstoppable. I looked up the numbers. Eagles finished the season with a 92% completion rate on QB sneaks for the season.
92%.
How is that possible? That's not fair.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But in a game like football, you can't have a play that works 92% of the time because that's just not fair.
There's no counter.
But my question is what is your solution? You just ban QB sneaks?
The Chiefs got flagged for a neutral zone infraction, which was kind of iffy. I mean, he definitely did jump.
It was
But
over the line.
You kind of have to, though. You know, either you make that smaller or you do something to fix it. I don't know what the answer is.
But you don't think that
But-
there's a defensive scheme that you could call that could counteract that? What if you put like 3 defensive tackles in with like 2 linebackers like between both A gaps?
I feel like they would have done that by now. 92% is a lot.
You got a
Like-
fair point.
I don't know.
Hey, but it's not good enough to win the Super Bowl. Am I right? Here, I'll toast to that one,
Cheers.
brother. Bunch of haters.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts probably would have been the quarterback of the night if it weren't for that fumble, like you said. That was a pretty bad look, for sure.
I will say, man, I would be pretty worried if I'm an Eagles fan, not going to lie, because you're going to have to pay Jalen Hurts some serious cash now.
Yeah.
Cash. And if you want to keep some of these other people that you got in the offseason, like Ndamukong Suh or Hassan Reddick, everybody's going to need a paycheck eventually here.
Yeah.
And you can't keep them along. I mean, Devontae Smith, he's still on his rookie deal.
Mhm.
I think it's looking pretty tough, especially because this was a down year for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
This was like a
Yeah.
transition year for them.
Mhm.
And they still were, I think they had tougher competition versus the Bengals, personally.
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
I will say, to conclude this Super Bowl talk, this Super Bowl for me had to be at least a top fiver
It was a good game.
in recent memory.
A lot of offense. I'd love to see that. You mentioned contracts just now on Super Bowl teams. I saw a cool stat today. The leading rusher of the past 13 Super Bowl games has not had a higher annual salary than $2.5 million.
Wow.
So it's all just backs who aren't getting paid. So if you're an NFL team, look at look at me. Don't pay your running back, Dallas Cowboys. Don't pay him. It ruins
Please,
your
God.
team.
Please, God. Look, Tony Pollard is coming up for a contract extension. Let him go.
Don't pay him.
He's
Don't do
torn his ACL. Look, Tony, I love you, brother. You're my favorite person to watch on the team. But it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
That's a great stat there, Paul.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. The highest paid one was Percy Harvin, who's a receiver, who had the highest rushing yards in that one Super Bowl. The Seahawks.
Mm.
Weird to think about. But yeah. Time of possession. Eagles dominated that. It was 34 minutes to 24 minutes for the Chiefs. They just had the ball the entire game.
They scored 38 points in 24 minutes.
Yeah.
I think Mahomes is playing better than Brady ever has.
Yeah. Like I said, he's the most talented football player we'll probably ever see. Even on the fucked up ankle, even with less offensive weapons, the missed field goal, he was still able to take control of the game and show why he's the MVP of the league.
Maybe I'm being like an old man, like, oh, get off my lawn, girl. I don't want no damn Girl Scout cookies, but like, I don't like the fact that GOAT debates have become like longevity conversations
I like
nowadays.
that. Yeah, it's about who's better. Yeah.
I mean, we talked last week about how LeBron will become the GOAT because eventually, he'll surpass all these records and set these new records and he'll play with his son and it'll be pretty hard to deny him. But like, Patrick Mahomes is better.
Yeah.
Why can't we crown him as GOAT?
Yeah.
And then people say, oh, your memory is so short. Like, have you forgotten all that Tom Brady has done? I kind of have.
Yeah. Honestly.
His best season, he didn't even win.
I think I'd say Rodgers is better than Brady, skill wise.
That's a tough one.
He's talented.
Because at least the one thing you can give Brady is that when all the chips are in the middle of the table, he performs.
Yeah, when it matters. Yeah.
And you can't necessarily say that for Aaron Rodgers, but you really can say that for Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
I feel like most playoff losses that he have were kind of out of his control.
Yeah. That last Super Bowl he was in against the Bucks, his O-line just turned to bags of paper and just fell apart. You know, that was really bad to watch. I feel bad for him.
But even in his struggles, you could see that he was like far superior than anybody else on the field. You know what I mean? Or like any quarterback you'd ever seen. Like he's throwing passes from like the ground and hitting people 40 yards downfield.
It's good.
Anyways, conclude the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes is the new GOAT. And
Eagles are still phonies.
Eagles are phonies, and that was a top 5 Super Bowl of all time.
That's good.
All righty. We'll just transition right on over to the NBA trade deadline because there was some
spicy
heat going on this week.
Spicy, bro.
Is there one trade? We'll get to the big trade here in a second.
Okay.
But was there one trade that stuck out to you that was made this week that you were like, that's a good pickup for a team?
Yeah. I'm not going to say the obvious elephant in the room one. We can say that for later, like you said. The Clippers made 2 pretty good deals. I think made them a little bit better. We'll see if it's enough to put them over the hill. But for the Clippers, it's really now or never. You're kind of reaching to that point where if it's not going to happen now, it's not ever going to happen. With this.
So for the audience out there, he is a Clippers fan.
I am, unfortunately.
He is the one of 15 Clipper fans, I think, in the country. I don't think y'all ever had a window that was open.
I mean the core of Paul George and Kawhi. We were favorites at one point. Be like, hey, like these guys are gonna win. You know, preseason favorites.
Were y'all favorites at one point?
Yeah, I mean, probably when it first happened, maybe. Not since then.
Who was the player y'all got?
We added Eric Gordon, Bones Highland, who is a young guard I like a lot from Denver. Mason Plumlee.
Some size.
Yeah, we needed a center for sure. Still don't have a point guard on the roster.
Because y'all lost Reggie Jackson, didn't you?
And John Wall. Yeah.
Well, you know what that means?
Paul George has been playing some point guard. I've seen him dribble the ball off his knees way too many times. I can't watch it anymore. We need a point guard.
Well, there just so happens to be a point guard that played in Los Angeles that got traded during the trade deadline, and we can break that trade down right now.
I think I'd rather kill myself than see that happen.
So the Lakers traded away Russell Westbrook and got D'Angelo Russell back in a 3-team deal with
took him long enough.
The Jazz.
Yeah.
I think it was a great trade for the Lakers. I think when you just have a toxic environment, and I said this last week about Kyrie and Brooklyn, when you have a toxic environment, it's just best to clear house in that scenario. And I think they got some good outside shooting, and I think they got some good size with the addition of Mo Bamba when they traded away Patrick Beverley. I don't like them trading away Thomas Bryant. I know that's kind of like a weird one, but I mean, he was averaging like 20 and 10 when AD went down.
He had a good role for sure on the team. Lakers did get better. I'll agree with you. I don't think it changes much about their outlook on the season, to be honest. I think they're still a fringe play-in tournament team, probably.
Okay. So what do you think Clippers... So here's what's going to happen, audience. I'll break the news for you. And shit, we'll probably be late on this news. Russell Westbrook will sign with the Clippers.
It's very likely.
So do you like your odds as a Clippers fan with Russell, Paul George, and Kawhi?
I'm the biggest Russell Westbrook hater there is, probably. And I'm all for it. Let's do it. What do we have to lose?
You would push the pace. What is wrong with Kawhi? Why is he missing every other game?
It's one of two things. It's either he has a really long ongoing injury that's just lingering, it's like a terminal thing for
For
him.
6 years?
Yeah, it's got to be something really like spinal or like nerve damage kind of thing in his knee or so. I don't know. That or he's just lazy.
Ooh.
Probably the latter.
Kawhi Leonard
Probably the latter.
is lazy.
Probably.
Wow. That's a bold statement there.
Yeah.
I think, you know what I think? I think sometimes it's not even in the players' controls anymore. I don't think they determine whether or not they get to sit out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think the Clippers are sitting back. What seed are they at? Do you know?
5.
They're the 5 seed. I think they're sitting back and they're saying, why should we put him on back-to-backs where he could blow out his knee if we're sitting at the 5 seed? We're not in the play-in tournament.
I mean, but you make the play-in tournament like we did last year, and then we lose to the fucking Timberwolves. Like,
Well, you lose to the Timberwolves because everybody's hurt.
Paul George played. We shouldn't have lost that game.
Did he play the whole series? Or I guess it was just the one play-in game, huh?
Or it was a 3-game series, I think. I forget. But no reason we should have lost that at all. Embarrassing. Which kind of stems back to the whole motto of the Clippers, I think. Is this for me, Champagne?
Mm-hmm.
Grassy.
Not a problem. I like that I don't like that the Nuggets gave up Bones Highland. I think that makes them a little bit worse.
For like nothing at all. It was 2 second-round picks.
Well, they also, it was actually a 4-team trade.
Okay.
And so they received Thomas Bryant. Lakers received Mo Bamba. Clippers received Bones Highland. Magic received Patrick Beverly.
And we gave up the 2 second-round picks.
Yeah, there's all those picks going everywhere.
I mean, he got removed from the rotation a few weeks ago, and it was kind of a big question mark why that happened.
Bones?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of a shot chunker at times. He did the same thing with Bowl when he was in Denver. He just kind of stopped playing him, like, completely.
Which is like, why wouldn't you try and develop some better talent?
Yeah.
Anyways, we can move right along to the big trade. Big NBA trade this week.
Probably one of the biggest trades ever. Yeah.
It is KD to the Phoenix Suns. And keep in mind, folks at home, there's like 27 games left in the NBA season. Okay? KD, I'm going to look right at the camera for this one. KD will win 0 rings as a Phoenix Suns member.
That's dumb.
0 rings. I don't think he'll be lucky to get to the Western Conference Final.
That's dumb.
All right?
That's dumb.
Tell me, change my mind.
No, man.
Change my mind.
So the Phoenix Suns just added one of, if not the most, in my opinion, he is the most lethal scorer. Get a bucket any place on the court. We'll probably ever see to a good roster in a weak or weaker Western Conference right now. Who's the top of the Western Conference? Nuggets, Grizzlies, and then the Kings, bro. The Kings are the 3 seed in the Western Conference. The Suns are going to win the West easily. It's not going to be close either.
The Suns are the 5 seed right now.
Right now,
they're the 5 seed. Okay? And before this trade went through, they had the 3rd best defense in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize how much depth they're giving up whenever they trade KD? They're giving up Mikal Bridges, who I would care to say I would want more than Chris Paul on the team with KD.
The Nets don't want Chris Paul.
I know they don't want Chris Paul, but my whole point is you gave up him, you gave up Jay Crowder, and you gave up
Cam Johnson.
Yeah. 3 great perimeter defenders.
Yeah.
Somebody has to play defense. I don't think 38-year-old Chris Paul is playing any defense. I don't think Kylie Jenner or Kendall Jenner, Devin Booker is playing any defense. And I know damn sure KD is playing minimal defense at best. And the only reason he gets any defensive credit is because he's 7 foot tall.
He's an underrated defender. But I know what you mean. His effort's not there sometimes. But he is an underrated defender.
He is an underrated defender. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But my whole point is he's not moving the needle on defense.
Sure.
Half the time, we can't even get DeAndre Ayton to drink his Gatorade warm-up juice to get back out on the court. Monty Williams is screaming at DeAndre Ayton half the time just to even look like he cares.
They don't get along at all.
So my whole point is you traded away all your best defenders. It's basically just a repeat of Brooklyn all over again. Let's stack this team with offensive-minded guards, really. I'm going to call KD a guard because that's what he is. Let's stack this team with guards that are offensive-minded and see how far we go. Hey, newsflash. especially betting on offensive-minded guards that don't stay healthy, you're not going to win very many playoff games.
They did give up their depth. You're right about that. However, they're deep enough where they still have some depth left. I remember last season or the season before, Cameron Payne went crazy in the playoffs. I remember watching that with you. We were watching Cameron Payne doing step backs and he was calling isolation plays. He's like a third rotation guy. They still have Landry Shamet. They gained T.J. Warren in that trade too. He's another 3-and-D guy, great defender. Bismack Biyombo's still on the bench, rim protector. They got guys on the bench who can defend for sure. The West is so weak where I don't think it's going to matter. They're going to sweep everybody.
Sweep everybody.
Yeah.
I honestly believe they could not beat the Nuggets, the Grizzlies.
I don't believe in the Nuggets. They do this every season, bro. They always get the first seed and they just shit the bed. Like,
all I'm saying is how many times as an NBA basketball fan do you have to watch one of these like mega trades go down? The only time it's actually worked, and I'll give you credit on this one, is when KD got traded he just went to the Warriors back in like 2018, right? And the only reason that worked is because they had already won championships and they had won 73 games the year before. But now, how many times has somebody gone and formed a super team where the super team actually performed? I can list you all the time. Dwight Howard went to the Lakers with Steve Nash. They barely made the playoffs. Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett went to the Brooklyn Nets. Super team. They barely made the playoffs. KD, Kyrie, and James Harden were on the Nets. They got bounced in the second round. LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh went together in Miami. They lost the first year. I'm just saying, I wouldn't bet my money on KD winning a championship this year.
KD's got something to prove. He's got a lot of talk in his ear about how he gets carried to finals and how he can't perform on his own. He's not on his own now. He's got a good team around him. But at this point, it's his team, I think. I don't think Devin Booker's going to be the guy. I think this is KD's team. This is time to prove it that he's the guy and get shit done. So I'm ready to see it happen. I hope I'm right. Have to find out.
So you would say that this is legacy defining? That if KD can win a championship with the Phoenix Suns, he has finally made it. Mm-hmm. He has erased the smudge that is the KD to Golden State saga.
You'll still hear that talk about super team merchant, shit like that about KD because it's the Suns and they have a good team already. But you said it yourself. You don't think they're good. I think this is the chance to prove it. So
okay, fair enough.
We shall see.
We shall see. Let's go ahead and roll into this topic. What is your predictions for the NBA Finals?
Ooh. Actually, before we go to that, I want to do one more thing about the Brooklyn Nets right there. Okay. In that trade, they gained 5 unprotected first-round picks. Unprotected. This was huge, right? Like you said, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson. They might finish as a top 3 defensive team this season.
I really like. Is it Cam Thomas?
The other guard they have.
Yeah,
it's under Cam. I don't know his last name. But that center they have is a true rim protector too. I don't know his name either.
Nick Bolton or not Nick Bolton. Clapton.
Nick Claxton.
Claxton.
Yeah, there's an X in there somewhere.
Yeah,
they're a good defensive team, man. They're gonna be fun. They're all young too. They'll be fun to watch for a while. I think.
The Brooklyn Nets. You know what I would have done if I was the Brooklyn Nets? And you can write this down, Brooklyn Nets general manager. You can take these notes from this YouTube video. I would have traded Mikal Bridges for 4 first-round picks because apparently somebody offered them.
The Grizzlies.
For Mikal Bridges? Yeah. Low-key, if the Grizzlies would have pulled off that Mikal Bridges trade.
Favorites. Favorites, yeah.
Could you imagine John Morant, Desmond Bane, Mikal Bridges, Jaren Jackson, Steven Adams?
I love Mikal Bridges for his availability. He doesn't miss games. He plays every game.
He's like a defensive KD. Like, you know how KD is offensive?
He doesn't have the scoring like that.
No. Like, get me like this. You ready? How KD is to offense, Mikal Bridges is to defense. Do you see what I'm saying?
Just guard 1 through 5.
Yeah, like
I like that.
he's tall and lanky, but his skill set is defense first, and KD's skill set is offense first.
That makes sense.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. One more trade that went through. This is the last one I got. I'm sorry. The Warriors finally let it go, man. They finally stopped trying. The James Wiseman experiment is over. He gone.
1, never liked him.
Yeah. Yeah.
2, we don't actually know if he's gone yet.
It went through. It went through.
Oh, did it go
Yeah,
through with
finally.
the Gary?
Yeah.
What are the Portland Trailblazers medical staff doing? Loading up Gary Payton II with cortisol shots. Gary Payton II. Listen, I'd get it if it was Damian Lillard. We can't spare to lose Gary Payton II 3 weeks.
On the Trailblazers, probably not.
I think that's ridiculous. If I'm Gary Payton II, I'm like, hey, yo, Pops, you ain't got a lawyer in the back or something?
What if he likes the cortisol? What if he likes the
What if it
high?
makes him feel good? Makes his hip feel a
Little
little nice,
tingly.
you know?
But yeah, so in 2020 or 2019, the Warriors were a shit team. They were all hurt. Ended up getting the number 2 pick in the 2020 draft.
2019?
When did
They were in the finals.
When was it? I guess 21 draft. So 2020
Yeah.
season they fucked up. The
Who went-
2021 draft.
Wiseman went 2, right?
Wiseman went 2, and then guess who went 3?
LaMelo Ball.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
But honestly, if James Wiseman could just be like a 15 points, 10 rebounds a guy, I'd rather have that than LaMelo Ball on the Warriors.
It's the Golden State Warriors. When have they ever had a center that does that kind of shit, though? You know, I don't think it's their play style.
Festus Ezeli. R.I.P.
It was situational. You know, he would come in when they had like a Embiid on the other team, you know, just to guard him. It was situational. It never made sense to me why they drafted him in the first place.
Because I think in the Western Conference, you need just in general, you need a 7-footer to play rim defense.
To strictly play defense on Embiid, Jokic, yeah, those other
Giannis.
guys. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
that's it. That's your role, is to guard those 3 guys.
Because you saw it in the 2021 NBA Finals when it was Giannis versus the Suns. DeAndre Ayton couldn't stop Giannis.
Yeah.
And in the closeout game, he dropped 50 points.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Legendary performance, by the way.
But that's the thing that scares me about the Suns. They got worse defensively, and they'd still have to see somebody like that. At least Jokic in the West.
He doesn't perform in the playoffs. We've seen that too many times already.
They do. Suns in 4. You know what I mean? I will say, I'm just saying, if you just look at the trends of history, especially on 27 games left, and Kevin Durant is hurt. He's not even expected to play till after the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Which means what? They'll get 20 games together. That rustles my jimmies a little bit, not gonna lie. I don't like that. I wouldn't bet any money. KD, 0 rings at least this year. At least this year.
Okay, if you say this year, does he finish his career with one more?
He doesn't finish his career with the Suns. I'll tell you that right now.
I believe that.
I'll tell you that right now.
You know what is scary about the Suns, though? Kyrie's on a contract year.
And Chris Paul's getting up there in age.
Yeah.
I don't know
They're
when
gonna
Chris
swap
Paul's...
him.
Let's look it up real
Yeah.
quick. When Chris Paul's contract runs up.
There's no bad blood between those two guys about that split up on the Nets, Kyrie and KD. They're still buddy-buddy. I'd bet anything he's a Sun next year. Kyrie.
It is fully guaranteed up till 2024.
That's bank robbery. He's a cone defensively.
I disagree. I think Chris Paul is
No.
one of the best 6-foot tall defenders of all time. Right. Write this down, folks. Chris Paul is one of the best defenders around 6 foot of all time. I think he's a brick wall. I don't think you could run through him. I could show you. Here, put the clips up on the screen of Chris Paul playing mad defense on people.
I agree. Like in his prime years, he was, but he's 36 years old now. He's a cone. He's not doing anything on defense now.
I don't think you lose defense.
Oh, he's slow as fuck now. Yeah. He has no feet anymore. I promise you that. He's good at taking charges.
You're just
and he's
proving
good
my
at flopping.
point. You're
That's
proving
it.
my point.
What's that?
They ain't playing no defense.
Chris Paul is not.
How
I
many
agree, yeah.
all defensive teams have Devin Booker made?
None. Yeah.
That's my point. I don't. You know what I honestly think? A team playing basketball can score more points than 3 players playing isolation. Now, I think Chris Paul will be a great facilitator. Like, he'll be passing the ball. I don't think he'll really be looking to ISO.
He's not. Never.
He has in the past because they haven't had KD. If Devin Booker's out the game and Chris Paul's playing with like DeAndre Ayton, I've noticed this. They'll run a couple pick and rolls.
And he'll put like a mid-range jumper elbow. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's done for. I think that's all going to be KD now, which, like, thank God.
That's overdue. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't think offense was their problem in the first place.
I agree with that. But you can't afford to just be like good enough on offense in the NBA. They've shown that.
You got to be
The
able to
Suns
score
have shown
threes.
that. Yeah. And now they have that for sure.
I'll give them that.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll just see how it goes.
I'm a believer. I like it a lot.
Okay. So next episode, Paul's going to be in a KD Suns jersey.
I need one. I bought a Kyrie one. Did I tell you that?
You bought a Kyrie Dallas Mavericks
Yeah.
jersey?
Yeah.
That's going to be limited edition because he will not be there next year. I promise you.
That's a 6-month rental right there. That's it. He's a Maverick for 6 months.
A 6-month rental to be bounced in the second round.
Yeah.
Probably the same time the Phoenix Suns are. And the Denver Nuggets.
It would be so
and the
cool
Memphis
if they won.
Grizzlies. Who?
The Mavericks. I know they're not going to.
The championship?
Yeah, it would just be so cool if they did. Just a big fuck you to everybody, you know?
I guess it
Like,
really would be.
Yeah, the biggest fuck you.
Like to every corporation. Because Nike dropped Kyrie.
Yeah.
You know? I guess it's very interesting. It's really up in the air. I would give it to any NBA team. First of all, we didn't really get into NBA Finals predictions.
Yeah.
I would say, for me, it's going to be the Boston Celtics versus... the West is so tough.
It's not good.
I would
It's
say
not
the Denver
good.
Nuggets. And I think the Boston Celtics are going to win the championship.
I thought you were a Grizzlies man.
I am a Grizzlies man, but let me tell you something. I don't appreciate... Okay, for the audience at home, because I know there are some people out there that watch us that are not too sports centric. Ja Morant is the best player on the Memphis Grizzlies, and he recently got caught up in a scandal where he was leaving the stadium. Some team, the Indiana Pacers were in town, and he had gotten into a heated argument. And when they were leaving the stadium, Ja Morant got in a car. The Indiana Pacers were getting on a bus, and one of the Indiana Pacers players said that they had a red dot appear on their chest. So basically, somebody in Ja Morant's crew allegedly, I'll say allegedly, pulled a gun on the Indiana Pacers team. Earlier this year, I'd say a couple months ago, Ja Morant had an interview where he said he wasn't worried about any Western Conference team. And since then, they've been about 500. I think they've lost a little bit of the magic. Dylan Brooks
It's bad.
is getting booed at home.
Yeah, he's a brick machine.
So I'm falling out on him.
Ja Morant is a fake thug.
I think the West
Yeah.
is wide open.
It is. Yeah.
But what worries me is that I just know that the Suns are going to get worse defensively.
So you're saying the Clippers have a chance?
I think the Clippers have a chance. I think the Lakers
No, dude.
have a chance.
No,
They
bro.
have a
No,
chance.
they don't.
And I think the Warriors still have a chance.
All right, so my finals predictions. You mentioned the Celtics. I think I agree with that. They're going to come out the East for sure. The only people who give them problems, I think, would be the 76ers.
I would probably say the Bucks.
Yeah, or the
their
Bucks.
biggest
Yeah,
competition.
or the Bucks. It kind of depends how the seeding looks.
Sure.
But yeah, Celtics come out on top. And then, like I said, the Suns are going to be there in the West. Suns in 6 games
So you think the
6
Suns are
games.
going? You think KD's going to win a championship this year?
immediately. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Fair enough.
You know what I just thought about? You didn't take your shot for losing your bet last night for the game. You got to take your shot, bro.
You got me there. I was just thinking you were right about the Super Bowl. How am I to question you on the NBA Finals? You know what I mean?
Come on. What you pouring up there? Some teats?
Some teats.
Some teats.
We got some
yeah.
teats in the house,
I'm
boy.
praying for you for that one, man. Shit.
Yeah. Last week, not easy. You know what I mean?
While we're on the topic of the Super Bowl, I'm gonna go back to this. I want to say, go take your shot first before we do this. Yes, sir. Deep breaths. Deep breaths.
That shit is delicious. All right, go ahead.
Lying. I want to say a big fuck you, middle finger to everybody who supports the city of Philadelphia or was born and raised in Philadelphia. Bradley Cooper, suck my dick. Charlie Day, suck my dick. The entire cast of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, suck my dick.
You know what, Paul? I said this on last week's podcast, and I'll agree with you on this one. They're the worst fans on earth.
Yeah.
I mean, they're wishing death upon you.
Mm-hmm. And the comment section's crazy. They don't play around.
No, not at all. And you know what's so funny? They don't play around for a team that came in second place. Come on now.
I'm so happy the Chiefs won, man, because I don't think I would have survived the night. They would have hunted me down.
There were a lot of people that kept that Instagram reel bookmarked.
Yeah, they said they did. One of the guys was like, yeah, I kept this bookmarked.
Just to take an L.
Yeah.
Man, you know, here's the crazy thing is I picked the Eagles on the last podcast. I'm a Cowboys fan. Low key, I was kind of happy when the
Yeah, I was surprised you picked the Eagles. Yeah.
I didn't like them. I just really thought that they had a better team.
Yeah.
But they really just underperformed. I wouldn't.
A lot comes down to coaching too. Andy Reid's a wizard.
God.
Yeah.
The fact that they scored 3 touchdowns on just motion in and a quick out is crazy. And people keep saying too, but the first Travis Kelce touchdown was, I mean, just a quick in with a post route, which is just in and out.
It just out-schemed. Out-schemed is all it was.
I think Andy Reid has to be one of the best coaches.
Yeah. Offensively,
I think he's a top 5er at this point after winning that second Super Bowl.
Yeah, they got out-schemed. On the Super Bowl topic, there was a few trailers for movies coming up that I am pretty excited about. The Flash, a DC Comics movie that I'm actually excited about for once.
You're excited
about a DC movie
to watch
man.
a pedophile on screen?
He's a terrorist.
Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, he's a terrorist. Ezra Miller is a terrorist.
Ezra Miller is a terrorist?
Yeah.
Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Explain to me why you think Ezra Miller is a terrorist.
Well, let's start off with allegedly.
Allegedly. Keyword here, folks.
Hey.
Go ahead. Write up something. Write up something official.
Try to sue us, motherfucker.
Try us. Alleged.
He allegedly ran a cult with underage women involved.
A cult?
There's a lot of shit going on.
See, I just heard about him groping people. I don't know about this cult shit.
He got in a few fights in some bars in Hawaii, punching people in the face.
How?
Threatens people with guns inside of his house. Went on the run from the police for a little bit.
This is the problem with superhero movies. If you think about it.
They're not actually superheroes.
They're not actually. I bet Ezra Miller is like 5'8".
Yeah, he's little.
He should not feel entitled to have this opinion. You know what I mean? But go ahead.
Hold on, you said he.
Oh, is that not his pronoun?
He's they, them.
Oh, he's they, them?
Yeah.
They should not be allowed to have this opinion.
Yeah.
Or like you can't think you're hot shit when you play the Flash in a movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like you're fucking like a bodybuilder. It's not like you're Arnold Schwarzenegger back in like 1987. You're fucking Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
You know?
You remember like as kids with like comic books and TV shows, it was never a question about Marvel versus DC. It was always DC. Like we never thought about Iron Man and Captain America. It was always Batman and Superman. Right?
I disagree because I feel like Spider-Man
Spider-Man
was my favorite.
That was the main one
superhero.
For Marvel. That was it though for Marvel until Iron Man came out. The movie. They're just a poorly ran company. I don't know if is it a company. I don't know who.
How can you stand behind Ezra Miller? You know, I don't know that much.
I'm surprised
about
he was
him
coming out. Yeah, at all.
But I feel like he's been arrested at least 5 times
in the past like 2 years.
Filming.
Yeah.
The Flash. And here's my question, Paul. Michael Keaton has been revealed to be in The Flash.
Yeah.
Right, and George Clooney as well. That's your
it's
secret
leaked.
pick.
Yeah, it's leaked. He's in the ending. So the Flash, you know how James Gunn.
Breaking news, by the way. This is breaking news, folks.
So it came out. James Gunn is the new head of DC.
Yep.
He's going to run all the movies from now on, which is a great pick. I think he's the one. If anybody could do it, probably him could do it. He said this is the movie that kind of resets the timeline. This is like the fresh slate. Like,
This is
time
Iron
travel.
Man 1.
Well, this kind of resets it. There's time travel involved, so it kind of resets to a blank slate.
I feel like they had the perfect opportunity to ditch Ezra Miller and just name this like the Batman Legacy movie. You know, or like something along Batman multi-dimension.
Yeah. Which is a kind of a bag drop in
Extravaganza.
itself. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense why he's so involved in the marketing for the movie.
But I feel like DC is DC, they are professional bag droppers.
Yeah. So the leak that came out, at the end of the movie, they reset the timeline. It's a brand new timeline. George Clooney shows up. He's like, "Hey, I'm Batman."
Does he still have the bat nipples?
I don't know. I haven't heard that.
Okay.
But he is
Fair enough.
he's the future Batman for the DC universe from here on out. It's George Clooney. For all the movies going forward, it's George Clooney.
What?
Yeah. It's bad.
It's George Clooney.
Yeah.
That's their decision?
Yeah.
After they sat down and said, "Hey, let's think about."
There's been a lot of outcry since that leaked, so they might change it. They have time to to adjust course, I guess.
Why does George
But-
Clooney even want to be Batman anymore? He made $1 billion off Casamigos, and then now he's like, "I want to be Batman again."
Ocean's 11 kind of fell out, I guess.
I guess he is the real life Bruce Wayne, if you think about it.
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. He's probably a good Bruce Wayne. If you look at it. I like Robert Pattinson a lot.
Hey, to all the audience members out there, I think Batman and Robin is actually a pretty good film.
That's the first one in their new slate of movies they're coming out with. Their phase 1, I guess, of the new DC universe.
Is
It's
Batman and Robin?
Batman and Robin. It's called The Brave and the Bold. That's what it's called.
And it has George Clooney as Batman?
Allegedly. Yeah. But it's Robin. Yeah.
They better have bat nipples. If there's no bat nipples, I'm not going. Do you hear me? That's unacceptable.
Man, I need some George Clooney nipples.
You can't
in my
bring
life.
George Clooney back without any nipples. I'm pretty sure that's the reason that the movie got popular in the first place. Nice to meet you.
Did you watch
Nobody
the movie?
liked that shit.
It was really bad, dude. It was so bad.
It was like
Which one was Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy?
that's Batman and Robin.
Oh man, she was bad.
Let me tell you something. It's just like 50 Shades of Grey. Like all the middle-aged women going to the theaters. They were just going to see the George Clooney
I
nipples.
believe it.
I'm telling
I
you.
believe it. Yeah. But The Flash does look like a good movie. I think it's gonna be a good movie.
Here's what I think. I think DC is incapable of making a good movie.
When was the last DC movie you liked? Don't count like the off-universe ones, like the Joker or the Batman.
Oh.
Count like the universe ones.
Okay. I watched Suicide Squad 2,
Yeah.
and it was okay.
No.
But the best DC movie, and I know you said you can't count the best
No,
ones.
but those are the best ones.
The best one is
Like-
The Dark Knight, and they have not come out with a better movie since 2008.
Prove
me wrong.
That's a Christopher Nolan movie. I don't count that as a superhero movie. I think that's a Christopher Nolan movie.
Because you can't hear what any of the people are saying in the movie.
It's more of like an epic, you know? It's like
You're like, what the fuck did they say?
I don't know.
That was the first movie that I was like, yeah, subtitles finna be the future. You know what I mean?
Those were really good movies. But as far as like the main universe of DC, the only movie I liked was maybe Man of Steel. That was
You're
a
full of
decent
shit.
movie.
You're just so full of
What
shit.
else was? I mean, of the choices you have to pick from,
How many times were you sitting at the cribbo and you were like, let me put on Man of Steel?
what other choices do you have? Did you like Batman vs Superman? I
That's
didn't
my
like that.
point.
It wasn't
It's all
good.
trash.
That's what I'm saying. It's not
all
good.
trash.
It's not
And let me
good.
tell you something too. The people over at Marvel, it's becoming trash too. Ever since Thanos, the whole Thanos saga ended, it's all trash. All trash. Nobody's trying to see that shit.
They can keep She-Hulk. They can keep.
You
Miss
watch
Marvel.
She-Hulk. You watch
I
She-Hulk.
watched half of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're watching, I want you to leave a comment. If you watch She-Hulk, we'll have 0 comments next episode.
It's not a good product. Ant-Man comes out this week, so we'll see how that goes.
Are you excited for Ant-Man?
I do.
Ant-Man 3?
Yeah. Kang the Conqueror is in there. Huge comic book villain. Potentially a bigger bad than Thanos. We'll see how it plays out. Jonathan Majors, is that his name? The actor who plays him? Man, hell of an actor. He's
Okay.
in Creed 3 too. He's gonna carry Michael B. Jordan in that fucking movie.
Is he in Creed 3?
Yeah.
Is he like the trainer or something?
He's like the antagonist.
He's the boxer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He's gonna
Come on,
carry
man.
him acting wise. Michael B. Jordan should get watched in his own movie.
I think the Apollo movies, or my bad, the Creed movies are just a shameless cash grab. That's what I honestly think.
Yeah. Who's the OG?
Sylvester Stallone.
He hates him. He doesn't support him.
He doesn't?
No.
I thought he was like executive producer on the first two.
I
at
heard
least.
something where he won't like get behind it at all. He wants something to do with it.
Well, because he just died in the movies. And he's like, I'm not trying to be a
maybe.
part of that shit no more.
Yeah. Is what it is. You been playing the new Harry Potter game? You tell me.
You want me to make a hot take about the Harry Potter game? Here's what I'll fucking say. I think it's a 5 out of 10, but these motherfuckers on IGN are giving it a 10 out of 10 because they haven't had shit to play in like 3 years.
Yeah.
That's what I think. That's what I really
slow.
think. They tell me, oh, go get 3 Puffleskin lures. Like I give a fuck.
Yeah. You should be grateful there's no microtransactions going on in that shit.
I wish they would try and charge me on that shit, dude. I wish they really would. Because you know why? I'm not giving them a goddamn extra penny. They started charging an extra $10 on video games. They're thieves. They're thieves.
Yeah.
They're trying to steal our money. Don't buy the season pass, folks. Fortnite is not that good, I promise you.
Did you hear the Call of Duty news that came out?
What is it?
So a few months ago, they announced that they're not going to do annual releases anymore. It'd be every 2 years instead of every year, which is good.
Yeah, I love that.
So last week it came out that they are releasing Call of Duty this year.
They
are.
immediately went back on their promise.
Yeah, they
Okay.
immediately did it. But it's not a new game per se. It's just Modern Warfare 2 DLC for $70 pretty much. But they're releasing it as a new game.
Is it like all new maps?
They're releasing it as a new game, but it's the same gameplay engine.
I mean, but isn't
Everything
that kind
is-
of like Call of Duty's business plan? Like,
Yeah,
when was the last time they came out with the new
it's the same
engine?
storyline as MW2, which is an extended version of MW2 pretty much.
Did you play the storyline of
No,
MW?
I don't care. Yeah.
See, I did.
Did you like it?
It was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't as good as the original. That's my problem.
That's a big fumble. That's a huge fumble.
When was the last time you played a game that was as good as like a game from like 2012?
Yeah. The fact that they named it MW2 and it's this dog shit when they could have just fucking re-released the original MW2
Yeah,
is
with
the
just
biggest
better graphics.
Yeah, the biggest bag fumble ever. I
I'll
don't know.
agree with you
Yeah.
there.
What are we doing? Like, I don't know. Whatever.
Alrighty, let's roll right into the halftime show with Rihanna. What was your opinions?
I thought it was good.
Okay. I mean, like if you're gonna put it on a tier list,
It wasn't the best, you know. I mean,
what are you ranking it? Like A, B, C,
B.
a B,
Yeah.
not a B plus
My favorite one ever
ever.
is the Prince one.
When it's in the rain
Yeah.
and he's doing
It's hard to
Purple
beat,
Rain.
man.
That
That's
is
really
pretty tough.
good. Yeah.
Here's
Uh,
my thing: is I didn't want to say she was pregnant while watching.
Yeah, it's
but
kind of
once
a-
it was confirmed, I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
She wasn't moving around a whole lot,
Low energy.
but she was pregnant, so you know you got to give her a break on that one. So I will say, knowing that she was pregnant during that performance, especially on that Super Smash Bros. Level that was that stage,
Yeah.
I think she killed it. You know,
Pretty good. Pretty good.
it's hard for Rihanna to put on a bad show. That's
Yeah.
what I'll say.
I was a little upset at first about not seeing more guest appearances, and then I thought about, oh, this is kind of like a statement about like how we live our lives now. Like we don't need cameos and guest appearances in every major pop culture event.
So you got
know?
deep with it.
Yeah. It's like every fucking Marvel movie is like, oh, well, this sets up Glup Shido, you know, I don't give a fuck.
Welcome to the multiverse.
Yeah, I don't-
You know,
Why can't we just have a good movie or good show without setting up other shit?
I will say
Like-
if there's any musical artist that could stand on her own, you know, without the need for someone else to come out during the Super Bowl, it would be Rihanna. I mean,
Not the lady from Houston?
Beyonce?
Yeah.
Rihanna has more #1 hits than anybody on earth besides Mariah Carey and the Beatles.
Beyonce's halftime show was incredible. It was really good.
It would be very hard for someone to top Beyonce's Super Bowl time.
Prince did. Yeah.
Yeah. But like I feel like she did a fair enough job.
She
You know,
did, yeah.
I can't be mad at
No, it was
that.
good,
You
yeah.
know, what would you say? Speaking of the halftime show, is your favorite 3 Rihanna songs? If you had to pick 3.
In order? Like
Yeah,
bottom to
3,
top?
2, 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1.
Shoosh. I'd say 3 would be like Pon to Replay.
Okay.
I like Pon to Replay.
Great song.
Uh,
Middle school dances vibes on
that was
one.
a long time ago.
Long time ago.
She was young. She gotta be young as
She's
shit.
been making music for
a while.
decade and a half, you know?
Number 2, I'd say Work.
Okay.
Work's up there.
Sure.
Classic song. Can't deny that. My favorite Rihanna song of all time is Love on the Brain.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Honorable mention, I gotta say one.
Sure.
Kiss It Better is really good, dude.
Kiss It Better. Huh?
And Anti's the best Rihanna album. I love Anti, bro. It's so good.
Anti is a good album.
So good.
I'll give you credit on that one. Here's my top 3. Number 3 I'll give is Work.
Yeah.
I have a special place in my heart for Work. If you ever meet us in public, you can ask us about the time we grinded on each other listening to Work.
Yeah.
Love on the Brain for me is number 2.
Good song.
Very good song. You know, I love the like the beat just underneath.
She's just singing on that song.
Ooh,
Man.
she's
just letting
killing it.
go. Like,
And number 1, and I'm very sad that Rihanna didn't sing this song during the halftime show. Disturbia.
she didn't do it.
She did not do that song.
Wow.
It's one of my favorite songs.
No, that's catchy. It's a catchy
Oh,
song.
for
Yeah.
me, that song came out in 2007. That is like radio
Yeah.
music to me. So I really did wish that she played that one, but
It's like darkness in the light, Disturbia. That's fire.
very
That's
fire.
It's good.
Very fire. But yeah, no complaints on my end from the Rihanna. I'd
good.
give her an A.
It was good. I mean,
Yeah. I've definitely seen worse halftime shows.
Black Eyed Peas.
The Shark. Love Shark.
Black Eyed Peas really bad.
Black Eyed Peas were.
Yeah.
But we do thank the audience for watching. Thank you for joining us on episode 2 of the Slightly Influenced podcast. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And give us a comment on what your favorite Super Bowl of all time is. The one you remember watching the most. For me personally, I think it's the Patriots versus the Seahawks when they caught the interception on the red zone.
Goal line. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to beat the Philly.
Oh, the Philly
and
special.
it's legendary.
Oof.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, we'll catch you back next week for another episode of the Slightly Influenced podcast. Thank you for rocking with us, and have a good one.